topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV, where we bring you educational information from top local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Now sit back and listen to experts in family law, association law, hearing loss, business brokers, home care, along with many other topics. Now here are your hosts, Steve-O and Sophia.
That was the story of my life a long time ago because I have sleep apnea. Good afternoon. Welcome to another Ask the Expert show. I just thought I'd throw that in today because one of my favorite shows today, we do all different kind of shows. We do it throughout the country. We are doing our show today in Los Angeles. And I got to tell you, there's more people who've written me about our show on snoring. We found one of the top, well, she actually is a speech language pathologist, but she found a technique that I'm doing now that can help curb your snoring. And I cannot wait to introduce her to you. She's on many of our markets. Let me introduce you to Janet Bennett. How'd you like that for an opening?
Hey, that was great. That was great. So glad to be here. Stop Snoring, LosAngeles.com.
Yes. Well, we have spent a lot of time together now, and I have started your program. And I got to tell you, Janet, it is so easy to do. 5 years ago, I was put on a CPAP machine. And listen, this what I love about Janet, none of the shows she has done has she said, throw that CPAP machine away. She's never done it. She's never told me it's guaranteed to work. She's just so down to earth, honest, and she has come up with a concept for people who snore that I'm hoping that I will be able to eventually someday put my mask away because there's no way anybody should sleep with a mask on. So good afternoon, Janet, and tell people about your company, your practice.
Okay. Well, first of all, thanks for having me on today in Los Angeles. That's exciting. So I am a speech pathologist, and I've been in a private practice for many years. And I've specialized in the treatment of tongue thrust. And a lot of you may not know what a tongue thrust is, but it's when you swallow, your tongue pushes the wrong spot. It doesn't push the roof of your mouth like it should. And some people end up with buck teeth or an open bite because the tongue is too far forward. Now, the reason I'm bringing up tongue thrust on this snoring show is that most tongue thrusters have trouble snore. I mean, they snore because they are breathing through their mouth. So there are lots of different things that are connected to this. And I want to try to help you understand that. Sleeping, breathing, and talking, and all of these things are connected, and swallowing. So today I'm quite excited to talk about snoring, but let me go back right quick. Okay, so 2003, I was treating a 14-year-old football player for tongue thrust, and he came to see me once a week. and he had only been here to see me twice. So his third visit, his mother said, "Janet, what are you doing to Adam?" And I said, "I don't know. What do you mean?" And she said, "He's always been the loudest snorer in the world. He rattled the windows, and now he doesn't make a sound." And so I said, "Adam, tell me more." And he said, "It's true. I make better grades. I can concentrate better. I'm not as tired, and I run faster." Well, I was shocked. Now, this was 20 years ago, and I knew nothing about snoring. Okay, so I did get very interested when he said that he ran faster, because I thought, well, that's super important. So I went home, and we didn't even have computers in my office then. I went home, and I just knew I was going to find on the internet that snoring was treated with tongue exercises, because that's what I was using for Adam. And but no, I didn't find that. I found some horrible things, just some horrible things, and nothing seemed to work. They wanted to cut off your uvula. They wanted to do surgery and break your jaw and move it forward, and all kinds of strange things, And I'm sitting there thinking, wait a minute, just put your tongue here, do this exercise. It was just too easy to fix. So I felt a need to solve this problem and treat the whole world, you know. And so I found 86 people all over the United States who would be my guinea pigs to help me word the exercises so they're easy to understand. And after 8 months of treating 86 people, 94% stopped snoring. Now that's huge, huge. You will
That's
never
incredible.
find that large percentage. And, okay, so people could say, well, have you had that published? Have you proven that or something? If you think about it, you're snoring when your spouse or significant other or whoever says you're snoring. And you're not snoring when they say you're not snoring. That's the only way to test for snoring. You're either doing it or you
That's
aren't.
correct.
And so, yes, I am sure 94% stopped snoring. Well, along the way, there were other things that improved too, just because mouth breathing, which is what a snorer does, breathe through their mouth, it causes all kinds of other medical problems even. So mouth breathing can be something that needs to be taken care of also. But yeah, that's exciting.
Janet, all the shows we've done so far, I've never asked you, why do you think people are embarrassed who snore? Because I've noticed it, like, people will tell someone, you snored all night. And, of course, they say, oh, no, I didn't. And it's like they're embarrassed. Why do you think people get embarrassed for snoring? Because it is a health issue.
Right. But I know me, when I was growing up, I was at my granddaddy's and granny's a lot, and granddaddy would be sitting way over there in the corner in his chair, snoring away. And we would all agree, granddaddy sure is sleeping good. But and that's what
Yeah.
we were all, we thought that was a sign. Oh, he's deep sleep. He's sleeping good. But actually, he was not sleeping well at all. And he was not in REM sleep. So nowadays, I think it's a social stigma, because people make fun of what the people sound like when they snore,
Right.
and they just don't want to be one of those people who look like that, or, it's a social stigma. So hopefully
But a
it's
lot of
changing.
people snore.
Right.
But
That's right.
many people snore. And, I think one of the things people are learning that what happens, what do you do when you're snoring? I don't think many people realize that you literally stop breathing.
Well, you can. Okay, so here's the timeline. At some point in your life, you start snoring for some reason. And I'm going to bet that you were already breathing through your mouth for some reason. Some people can get, say, really sick and maybe go a long time not being able to breathe through their nose. And then by the time they get well, they're in the habit of breathing through their mouth. So something that simple can produce a mouth breather. So then when they sleep, they start snoring because the air is going in and out. It's passing over that uvula and other, all those tissues in there and making the noise. Some snore louder than others. And I don't know how long it takes to uh, start getting sleep apnea, but once you start snoring, you have the chance of getting sleep apnea. When you hear a person change and they start snoring louder and louder, like Adam, who rattled windows now, that's loud, okay? And then if you hear them go, they in their sleep, they snort and wake themselves up. That's a symptom of sleep apnea. And that is huge because every time you do that, you stop breathing because now your whole tongue has fallen down and blocked your airway. And your brain makes you snort to come alive again. So a lot of people do that 60 times an hour, and that really wears down their heart. Okay, so it's super important. And I have to tell you, Steve, this is great news I have today. They are now, there are other people who are writing up some reports about mouth exercises, they call them, and of course it involves the tongue too. But they are now saying, and let me get this right, the Sleep Foundation reports that it has been shown that tongue exercises help reduce snoring and milder form of sleep apnea.
Wow. And now that I'm on your program, I really understand that.
Yeah, that's exciting. So, but that's how it happens. And so I have an exercise program that will stop your snoring. And so, don't you agree? If you stop snoring, you can't have sleep apnea.
That's right.
Okay, because you don't get sleep
Janet,
apnea first. You always start snoring first.
I consider myself a godly person. And last night, I like to keep my life pretty private, though here I am on national radio. But I don't know, God touched me last night about our show tonight. And I want to tell people this because, if we can just touch one person, Janet, every time we do a show, I'm just as happy as can be. So I had sleep apnea and I had it really bad. But, if you don't know anything about sleep apnea, you just figure you snore. Maybe you don't even know you snore. If you have a wife or somebody that's next to you at night, they're going to let you know you snore. But I tell you what, I did not take care of. I blew sleep apnea off like it was, it'll go away or something. And it caused me to have high blood pressure. And if you've ever had high blood pressure, you know that you really don't know you have high blood pressure until you have your blood pressure taken. I didn't have headaches, nothing, but I was walking around with probably 180 over 100, and it all developed from sleep apnea. Well, if you don't know you have high blood pressure, in my case, I went 4 or 5 years. That caused me major kidney damage to where I've basically only got about 20% of my kidneys working, but it really started with sleep apnea and not taking care of it. And I'm just sharing, I don't think I even told Janet this. It is so important that you take care of this. And what's so great about what Janet's doing is I've had to sleep with the machine, and it is the most uncomfortable way to sleep, but it curtails my sleep apnea.
Right.
I have tried the things that fit on your nose, all the gimmicks. There's so many gimmicks out there. None of them work, or let's say they didn't work for me. And I have gone on Janet's program, and we're going to start probably in the next show or two. We're going to start talk about my progress because I know I'm going to have progress. This is such an easy program, Janet.
Good.
And everything you say makes so much sense. It is unbelievable. And I found out I have tongue thrust, and I didn't know I had that.
Mm-hmm. Well, why don't we just talk about what treatments are out there for snoring right now? Is that good?
Go for it.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to have to use my little cheat sheet here, but we all
That's
know
okay.
because I might forget something. We all know what they usually say. They'll say stop drinking,
Yes.
stop drinking, stop smoking, and lose weight, right? And those are
Right.
lofty goals. Okay, that's great. Do all of that, but when you need to stop snoring, you need to stop snoring right now. Okay,
Right.
you can go on your diet and stop
Don't
all
let it
those other
go.
things, but you need to stop snoring now. Okay, so there are lots of different things. And what I have found is 78% of men and 59% of women are snoring. And I'd be willing to bet it's higher than that.
I wonder why men are more.
I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. But they also, when they talk about losing weight, maybe that has something to do with it
That could be
because a
yes.
lot
Yes.
of guys have necks that are really, all the football players, right? So anyway, so there's this, I'm going to talk about a few specific things. One is called a Z Quiet anti-snoring mouthpiece. So there are lots of different
Heard of
kinds
it.
of mouthpieces that you can wear while you're sleeping, which right there, that doesn't sound good. But this Z Quiet mouthpiece, it pulls your mandible forward, and that makes your airway bigger. And so I'm going to ask a stupid question maybe, but when your tongue falls down and gets in your airway, if they've made it bigger, I don't know. Is that supposed to give it more room to keep falling and blocking it? I don't know. But anyway, so but it doesn't have a really good success rate. Okay, the other thing is they have a sleep connection wristband that you wear, and it uses nerve stimulation to stop your snoring. Okay, so you're in bed, you're snoring, and then zap, zap on your wrist, and it,
Wow.
I guess, wakes you up and makes you turn over or something like that. That's fine. If it stops you snoring right then, that's fine. But it's not getting to the root of the problem, just like the mouthpiece. It's not really stopping you from snoring. And I just felt like my program is all law natural, and there's no reason not to change you habitually to do it safely in the correct way so you don't depend on a machine or a mouthpiece or whatever. Another one is called MPG anti-snore magnetic nose clip. Well, I can only picture it. Magnetic nose clip.
Right.
And there are magnets that stimulate the local sensory nerves to help reduce snoring. It widens your nostrils. Ooh. And to increase the airflow. And they claim that a mouth breather will switch to nasal breathing. Okay, so I don't know how making your nostrils bigger is going to automatically turn you into a nasal breather when you were a habitual mouth breather. There's some exercises somewhere in this mouth and tongue area have to be done to make it all strong. Your tongue is weak. It needs to be strong and toned, and it also needs to be made skinnier, which we do with my program also. Let's see. There's the premium anti-snore wristband. Okay, another wristband sends electrical impulses and it makes you change your position. I thought that was interesting.
Yes.
It says it adjusts your mouth and opens your jaw to stop snoring. Okay. There's a Hale, Hale breathing aid. It's a nasal expanding device. It goes inside your nostrils to stretch them like the other one did. There's a thing called a smart guard. And this is the words it used: boil and bite molding. Ouch.
Ooh.
It advances your jaw. Boil and bite mold. So you boil this piece of rubber probably and bite to make the mold. Okay, that's
right.
All right. Okay, so another thing they out there in internet land, they recommend that you sleep on your side. Well, that can be good too, but what if you can't always control that?
Right.
Nasal strips, they have Breathe Right nasal strips to wear, and that can be helpful in helping to, if somebody has some congestion there, that can help.
It didn't help me, Janet. I tried those.
Okay, but it might help you breathe, but it's not going to help you stop snoring. Okay,
right?
Unless it totally closes your lips. So let me back up, so I don't want to sound like I'm saying something wrong. You have to breathe through. Okay, you're breathing through your mouth. You've got to change it to breathing through your nose. Okay, and the nasal strip, I don't know if it's strong enough to put you in the habit of nasal breathing. It might help you for a night or two, but you've got to do something in addition, like exercises, to train your lips to stay closed. That's all it is. I know it sounds crazy, but it works. Lose weight, we did that. Let's see. Quit smoking. Okay.
The machine and the apparatuses are very expensive.
Right.
Just so you know that.
Right. And I think for Medicare to pay, or any insurance maybe to pay for it, you have to clock 4 hours a night that you have to prove that you used your CPAP machine that much each night, I believe, for them to pay for it. And so I've met a lot of people who wear CPAP machines, and most of them say, yeah, I'll wear it 4 hours a night just to get, okay. So what happens the other time, I mean, seriously. Okay, so there's this surgery I wanted to mention to you. It's called a UPP. It stands for uvulopalataloplasty. So this, your uvula is that thing that hangs down in the back. This cuts off part of your uvula because somebody's thinking, oh, it's in the way. I don't know what it's in the way of.
I'm very aware of this surgery. In fact, the doctor who did it down here no longer does it anymore.
Okay, good. Well, let me tell you, it expanded to something else where they put palatal implants in. So you've got this, so let's say they don't cut off your uvula. They leave it hanging down, but they put these strips, maybe 3 strips of something in that uvula to stiffen it. Now,
wow.
Why is that? Well, it says it's implanted to strengthen the soft palate. Okay, so your uvula is part of the back end of your soft palate, but I can't equate that with learning how to breathe through your nose and getting in the habit of nasal breathing and not snoring. I can't make the connection. And none of these there's so many different surgeries. None of them have a good prognosis at all. Oh, there's another one, somnoplasty.
What does that do?
Okay, somno. It removes part of your uvula and it strengthens your soft palate with radio waves. Really? That's a lot. That's a lot to go through when you can just do exercises to train your tongue. So this is exactly what the exercises do. They train your tongue to live up on the roof of your mouth, up there. Okay.
I'm doing these every night now.
I'm so excited. Okay, so your upper palate is smaller than the bottom of your mouth where your tongue is used to laying down. So when you train your tongue to go up there, we've got to make your tongue smaller. And there's an easy way to do that. Very easy way to make that happen. The other thing that these exercises do is they get you in the habit of keeping your lips closed. And that changes the game totally. Okay. A couple of more. There are sleep medicines We know that. A whole bunch of different meds that people say. But it says they can be habit forming, and listen to the side effects: constipation, diarrhea, dizziness, headache, impaired balance, etc.
Oh my
Well,
gosh.
that's not even worth going through that.
Right.
You're paying for, oh, well, it's, mine's easier. Okay. They also recommend that you get a new pillow and a new mattress. And, but then there's also myofunctional, which means helping the muscles function better. Exercises like mine, and it's a 7-week program. You can take care of these problems in 7 weeks and feel so much better when you wake up.
Well, and I'm telling you, I'm doing these exercises now. Now, one of the things Janet hadn't gone into yet is a little. Doesn't that look familiar,
Have
Janet?
stick, will
Look something.
travel.
It's almost like a toothbrush, but there's no brushes on there. But you literally, I call it massage the tongue.
Okay.
That's what and I guess, you live a certain part of your life. I mean, a long time. And my worries were, can I change things with my tongue and my mouth and my breathing in a short period of time when I've been doing, another way for years? And I got to tell you, I'm on my second week now, and I can already feel the changes. It's not that hard to do.
Good, good. I'm excited. Yeah.
So, and like I said, if one of the things I said I love about Jan, she doesn't tell you it's 100%, though her numbers are
94.
really good.
94.
Yeah, and she doesn't tell you go throw your CPAP machine away.
No.
So, I mean, she's very honest. And with that honesty, she is right there with you. It doesn't matter what city you're in. She's there for um, if you have
Consultations.
questions.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I got to tell you, the things that I learned from you already, they're so easy. You
Right,
just
right,
have to keep doing them,
right.
and
Well,
don't do it whenever
let me
you
interject.
feel like it.
Let me interject right there when you said keep doing them. Your tongue, your muscles have muscle memory. So after you learn all the exercises and you practice them, and repetition is what makes that new habit
Right.
form. So you are going to practice them. You might only spend a total of 30 minutes a day, like 15 minutes 2 times a day. It's not much, but your tongue, your muscles have memory, and so they will remember where you are teaching them to stay, and it really works.
Well, I'm going to tell everybody, the show always goes by so fast,
I know.
and Janet's with us every month. But I want to tell you something. First of all, for the people who are listening on radio, Janet, give them your phone number.
Okay, it's 828-273-9888.
And I'm telling you, I'm doing it. And I,
But we'll
I
hear
think
all
this could
about.
be something.
We've got to
Yeah.
share with them later. We'll tell them what's going on, right?
But I want you to call Janet. Don't be afraid.
Right.
And it doesn't matter what city you're in. We have, we're doing it by Zoom, Janet and I.
Mm-hmm.
It's really simple to do. Or you can go to www.stopsnoring
Los Angeles.
losangeles.com.
Yeah.
But I am telling you, you have nothing to lose by trying this.
That's right.
Because if this works for you and you don't have to use a CPAP machine, I'm on a CPAP machine. You do not want to go on a CPAP machine.
And Steve, normally when someone starts my program, they find someone else in their family who also needs it.
Oh yeah, I
And
can imagine that.
See, they can share this program with their friends and family.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I feel like you are God sent. I guess because I go through sleep apnea, and I know there's a lot of people out there who are going through sleep apnea and
Mhm.
snoring. So give Janet a call. Janet will be back again with us next month in Los Angeles. Janet, thank you so much. Just give
Thank
them your phone number one more time.
Okay, 828-273-9888. Thanks for having
You
me.
are the best. And I will see you Friday morning
Okay.
with my classes.
Okay, I'm excited. Bye.
Thank you, Janet.
Uh-huh.
That's Janet Bennett. She is going to be my alternative savior. And I am so excited about going on this program. We will be back with you again next week with more Ask the Experts. I hope you'll join us then. Everybody, stay safe this week. Thank you so much.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.